Boys, give me a yahalo. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a fucking yahalo. I say hell yeah usually, but give me a motherfucking yahalo. Motherfuckers in the chat, give me a yahalo. I want to see nothing but yahalos in the chat, going fucking hard. Hold on, I gotta get y'all up here. Nothing but motherfucking yahalos in the chat right here, right now. Yahalo! Hi, YouTube! Or Yahalo, YouTube! Welcome on in. Hey! I'm feeling much better. Sorry for the delay. I usually try and knock this out at least and that's Loki in case you guys can't hear him. My wolf dog. Anyway, I try and knock these out at least one episode every week or 2 episodes every week or so. But I've been really, really sick. They've known about it. I've gotten so much better. I'm so excited to go into it. You guys have been nothing but amazing and responsive, and I've read the comments, and you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. And I do want to say thank you. Thank you guys for being nice and sharing and showing that love and support. In case you're new, in case you just jumped in because for some reason episode 2 is your shit. Hi, my name's Ed. I'm a psychologist. I tend to go out and analyze video games, anime, everything in between. There's a lot of stopping. So sit back, relax, get a snack. We're going to be pausing a lot. We're going to be talking a lot. We're going to be analyzing a lot. This is just the way that the format is. No ifs, and, ors, or buts, With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready? Right off from the top.
動物は基本群れるものである。肉食獣にはヒエラルキーがあり、ボスになれなければ死ぬまでストレスを抱え続ける。動物は基本群れるものである。肉食獣にはヒエラルキーがあり、ボスになれなければ死ぬまでストレスを抱え続ける。
I gotta go back. Hold on. I gotta go back on this one. Back to the past Samurai Jack. Hold on. There's something in here that's sticking out to me. And it's not just a phrase, and I'm not just doing this for dramatic effect. Like,
動物は基本群れるものである。肉食獣にはヒエラルキーがあり。
Okay, I think I got it. So, the reason why I'm stopping there, what makes your experiences experiences? Why do you treasure what you treasure, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry, I'm fucking five-heading. Hold on. We're bringing in the fucking board here. So, for example, if I were to ask you guys in chat, like genuinely, why do you treasure the memories that you have? Like, why do you treasure what you treasure? Because it made an impact on you. But why? Just follow me on this one, right? Why do you treasure that? Go deep. Go as deep as you can. Like, go fucking fist deep with me. That sounds really bad. Go grab my... just go deep with me on this one. Why soak the memories with nostalgia juice? Because scarcity. No. So, one of the key reasons why we form memories, right? Or why we enjoy our memories is often because, and I'm sure you guys have seen this a lot, our ecological theory. The connections that we make often give our memories meaning, right? This is why, because it changed something, because there's feelings attached to it, because all of a sudden the connection that I had to the person that gave me this Gatorade bottle meant the world to me. So now I treasure this Gatorade bottle. It changed something. Exactly. It changed something, Eldosu. There's something internally that comes through. The reason why I'm highlighting this, and let me go ahead and bring this up as well, because this might be a good opportunity to talk about it and also go in depth a little bit about it, which is, here we go. Perfect. If looking at this, what do we see here? This is brought from Renner's ecological theory. Again, what I have on here, but just in a much better aspect. We form our connections, or we form our memories, our experiences, and we even think of aspects in a triangle shape through our connections that we make. So, comes in my next aspect for you. What happens that can influence this? Think about the spheres of influence that are all around. We've talked a little bit about the different masks and the different aspects of himself that he comes through. Like, what comes through in an environment like this? Anybody? Himself. He is an observer, but him being an observer also makes him one of the biggest aspects of change that he can have. And I feel like people often don't put enough love or attention to it, like into thinking of that for yourselves. You as an observer, you as a person that observes your surroundings and notices things that need to be different. Do you notice the things that need to change for you? Or is it too late when you start noticing it? Are you aware of your like flaws? Or is there a dynamic battle that's happening inside of you? Oh, thanks, Masters. So I'm highlighting this. I'm highlighting this with the intention of bringing up like observing people being here in groups. Doritos in the chat, if this has ever happened to you. How many of you guys have observed a group of friends having a good time and have been like, oh wow, they're kind of fake? I have 100%. Might have been a little bit of jealousy, like, man, I wish I had like that, like my group of friends around me or whatever. But like observing them, I was like, dude, it kind of seems like a very superficial relationships, you know? And sometimes like the social hierarchies start to form because of the friends that you have. It's A-okay. There's no judgment that comes from that because, again, the way that we're taught to interact with others and the way that we place value onto groups of people. Comes in my next question. We're going to call this the superficial line up here. Is having friends up here okay? Is this a real relationship? Can you have meaningful experiences having friends up here rather than down here? Oh. And chat goes fucking silent. That's how you know you got him. Masters with very rare. I'm gonna shoot straight from the hip since it seems like chat's a little hard on this. Yes. You can. It sucks, don't get me wrong, because you know that some of these relationships, you graduate from high school or college, they may no longer exist. You change to a different work, they're no longer there. You move to a different city, they're not going to contact you. They may no longer exist. This line might just be temporary. The superficiality might be like water where if you step on it, you're going to go through and that relationship's as fucking thick as paper. But can you have a meaningful experience from connections like this? You can. Because sometimes you might be having the worst day of your life, your worst day possible. And all it takes is someone that you can laugh with, vent to, even distract yourself for a little bit. And even though this person might never know that, this person might not be there for you, go years and years and call you his friend, and you guys might grow old as friends or whatnot. But that one person, that one night might affect you, and you might carry that with you. How much weight do you give the value of deepness versus superficiality? And that's what comes to mind when I'm hearing Hachiman talk about like social hierarchy groups like this, because I used to think like this. In high school, I was always very observant of like, oh, there's these different cliques. And you can tell that they're not like, they're only getting along because of proximity, right? Because of how close they are that they can't really expand out. They were there for you at the right time, right? So comes in my next question. For Hachiman, we're going to put a big H here in the middle. He says this, from what he's saying right now, this is bad. This, like, oh, fuck people up here. People up here garbage. Can he truly handle something down here? And that is where my mind is motherfucking going. Because do you think he can actually handle a deep relationship? Or is this shit right here gonna fucking terrify him because he's not used to it? My mind is fucking going into the mentality of right now he's over here and he's self-reflecting. He's displacing his emotions and throwing it out there like this group of social hierarchy, whatever, right? And even though he wants some type of a friendship, and we've seen that internal turmoil, but down here, if he got like, say that someone genuinely wanted to connect with them, would that be fucking terrifying? That's the thought of that my mind comes into. Does he know like that you have to be vulnerable, that you would have to open up if you really wanted a relationship like this and be open to being hurt again, very similar to the traumas that he's held that he showed in the past episode? Sorry, I get really fucking heated when I'm excited about show or a show touches on a fucking good topic, a meaty topic. Amazing fucking shit, boys. I don't even know if it's gonna touch on this or if we're just gonna keep on going with where the Wizard show's going. But it looks really fucking good. I'm just exploring the different topics that are available from this. Anyway, let's go right back into it. Sorry. Oh shit.
ボスになれなければ死ぬまでストレスを抱え続ける。マジ？これ何？すげえかっけー。草食動物も天敵の襲撃で仲間を犠牲にして生き続けることにジレンマを感じているはずだ。マジすげえって。どうした？ちょっと借りていい？ このように群れとは子にとって何ら益をもたらさないのだ。ならば私は決して群れることのない。
Now with Hachiman, my man needs therapy. First off, don't touch my motherfucking games. You touch my, like, somebody touched my fucking PSP, Nintendo DS, or whatever the fuck I had on me and my fucking Switch. You about to catch some fucking kicks, bro. You ain't even gonna catch hands. You're about to catch kicks. But also, Hachiman needs therapy. No ifs and or buts. Hachiman needs actual help. Because for me, the way that I'm hearing him talk is a self-sabotaging narrative. Thus, I choose to stay the way of the solitary bear, which does not form packs. Yet you want to connect. You're self-sabotaging your opportunity for connection. Someone needs to fix him. Which comes into my aspect of this. The way that he's even phrasing this sounds very, like, on paper, if you were to read this, you'd be like, huh, why yes. Very logical. But are we as humans only logical creatures? Are we even logical creatures to begin with? No. We're very emotion based. We make decisions out of our emotions, even if it's not for the best of our interest. Sometimes we want to connect with people, and sometimes we allow ourselves with the opportunity to be hurt by being vulnerable. We're instinctual at times. Yeah, absolutely, flame slingers. And sometimes we have to fight that instinct to put other stuff away. So thinking about aspects like this, I'd wonder for him, and I'd want to go ahead and ground them in like, okay, Hachiman, that's amazing. I love the fact that like you can at least use I statements, but I'm not hearing any emotions out of you. It sounds very lonely the way that you're saying, thus I choose to stay a solitary bear, which does not form packs. That sounds lonely. What drove you to be this way? Asking these questions, like, tell me more. How does that make you feel? And I know that's a very stereotypical question in psychology, but there's an aspect for it. Why do you think we ask this question? Because a lot of people try to intellectualize. They'll hide behind the mask of, I do not feel anything. Like, oh yeah, no, the world around me is fine. My partner cheated on me. It was no big deal. Everything was fine. Everything was good. It is, how do you say, perfect? And it's like, you got to take off that mask and be like, no, how do you genuinely feel? Good is like a way of just saying like, whatever. But I'm asking about a feeling, happy, sad, genuine, bueno. That's why we're throwing this out there. We're asking for a feeler words in order to identify, are you truly intellectualizing this? Do you know the depth of the impact that this is having on you? I feel like I can't connect with others because I feel like I don't know how to, which makes me worried about being awkward. While I'm afraid of not being good enough for those relationships, I can relate, which can be hard. It can be extremely difficult in that way, right? Because all of a sudden it's like, logically, for example, you see someone crying. Logically, for a lot of people, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear, right? Like a lot of people automatically go into like comfort. But what if they're okay? What if they're perfectly fine? What if they're actually like crying happy tears? But because you're seeing tears, and logically tears mean sadness, for a lot of people, they jump that gun. Laugh at them, Claro, damn. But anyways, I bring up this concept as an opportunity to genuinely dive in deep and talk about this character here.
クマとは一頭で生きていくことに何の不安も感じていない孤高の動物だ。しかも冬眠ができる。なんと素晴らしいことか。次に生まれ変わるなら私は絶対。
In my next life, I want to be a bear. Hachiman, I have some sad news for you. Bears can also be social creatures. Bears can also be able to go ahead and no, bears still have their families. Oh, at least he's not a vending machine.
クマになりたい。
I do wanna stop right there and ask a question, and I mean this in a way to keep going in deeper. Let's go as deep as we can. Hachiman has trauma. No ifs, and, or buts. I don't care what anyone says out there like, oh, he just has bad experiences or whatnot. I can relate to Hachiman in a lot of ways because oftentimes my perspective would switch due to a lot of the stressors in my life. In case you guys are wondering. PTSD. What is the difference between ASD and PTSD-C? There's a big difference in that. A lot of people seem to get it confused. ASD, I'm not talking about like autistic spectrum disorder, no. It stands for acute stress disorder. Acute stress disorder is usually, as a psychologist, as an individual, you'll find people being like, hey, when did you start feeling this way? For example, you got in a car crash. It's been, 3 days in and you're having nightmares. You do not have PTSD just yet. You have ASD. You have acute stress disorder. PTSD or it's complex, right? PTSD in general, post-traumatic stress disorder, is usually marked, and you people start refining it usually after the 28 days or a month afterwards. Some people even go as far as 3 months or longer before they go into the classification of a PTSD. The reason why I bring this up is Hachiman. How long has he been feeling this way? How long has he felt like he needs to be alone? Even if it's a self-talk, he deserves to be alone. A long time, probably. Yeah. A few years, maybe. Yeah. What do you guys think? If you go through it and you keep saying to yourself for 2 years, 3 years, I am worthless. I am stupid. I do not deserve to be happy. I do not deserve friendships. I need to be alone. I have to be alone. You internalize it. All of a sudden, even though it might start off as a voice in the back of your head, you soon start thinking that voice in the back of your head saying that you're worthless, you're stupid, and whatnot is your voice. And that you are indeed that, but you're not. And it becomes an aspect for some people of comfort. Why? Because all of a sudden, it's what they know. And what happens when you try and shake that foundation? It becomes scary. It becomes fucking terrifying. So, let me go ahead and I'll ask you this. Who is this agent of change? Will it be Miss Yahalo? Right? Will it be the sensei? Will it be Yukino? Who will be his agent of change? Is it everyone? Right now, who has the greatest capability of having an impact on his ecological self? It's Ed. Which sensei could be my agent of change? The sensei could be fucking fantastic. But out of these two, out of all three, Sensei has control over. These could have changes inward. Sensei can have a change on all of this. She can make an impact, slight little waves. Yukino and Yui, they can have an impact on all of this, all the inside. However, it's meaningless if he doesn't go through with it. If he doesn't want to change. Why? And this is even for therapy. If someone forces you to go to therapy, will you change? If your parents forced you to go to therapy, will you change? Right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. No. You're probably going to be like, fuck this. I have better things to do. This is annoying. Like, ugh. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's got to come from himself. People can be trying to go out and change and make waves and be like, look, there's a clear way out, Hachiman. But it's got to be up to Hachiman to take that first step and start going through. So then where's your first step? What have you done in your life to start that process of change? Have you started the process of change? What first steps have you taken? Has anybody cleared a road, or is it difficult for you at the moment? Do you want to change? And this is going out to you guys as well, because it's big. It's a big question to go. Anyway, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, let's go ahead and continue a little bit. And even if you are trying, it's hard. Yeah. It's a difficult process, and I do want to highlight this. Change is a difficult process, and relapse is completely normal. Change is a difficult process. You shouldn't be rushed. You shouldn't go through anything. Relapse is totally normal. It happens. But change only happens if you allow it to happen. This is all you. And ultimately, anime and shows like this do a wonderful, fucking fantastic ability of showcasing a mirror up to ourselves some days and allowing us to start that process of change. Anyway, 4 years into my character development arc. Yeah. I feel like I can't change because I'm afraid that if I'm too vulnerable, I'll be abandoned by those. And it's a scary experience, Flames. Like, I can't even imagine the amount of fear that must go through a situation like that. Being straight up with you, right? Because we all have different levels of fear. Like me, being vulnerable in some topics, it's fucking scary because I have a feeling that some people might be like, ill, like, no, why are you sharing that? But that fear, once we let it out there and we know that, like, hey, it's out there, it's like a big relief, or it was a big relief for me. Once it's like being able to go and be myself and be open in that regard. Anyway, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that. I have a question. No worries, Flames. I appreciate it. This is a safe space. for people to vent, share their life stories, and this is for us to be able to go and talk about. I'm sorry to pause there, but this just came to mind while watching the LP. What is the family dynamics for Hachiman? I've been thinking about this, and I'm like, for someone to gain it into a perspective this way, it's going into this regard for me, which is, I'm curious about it. It's like picking a scab. What are the family dynamics for Hachiman? Does he have any older brothers or older sisters or younger brothers, younger sisters? Are his mom and dad actively involved? 2 parents, 1 sister. Are they actively involved in his life or not? My mind is fucking spiraling in that regard, right? Because it's like, how active is their participation in his life for him to not, like, maybe he's okay with them, maybe they get along, or we like, or maybe there's more to it. Just, you know, slightly dusting this off. Like, well, what is the relationship between them, and how does that impact him in his everyday life and thinking? Why? Because that's another aspect that we would go into. If you came into a session with me and you're like, man, I don't want to connect with people, I want to be a lone bear, and it's like, hey, tell me a little bit about like how life is at home. How are you doing at home? Like, do you get along with your parents? Like, tell me a little bit more about your relationship with your siblings, with your parents. How often do you interact with them? Stuff like that. Because it's like, if they actively have an impact in your life, it's probably a little easier for you to grow secure attachment and be able to go from there. Anyways, we'll touch on this probably in a little bit. Bears a worry. Bears.
先生って原告の教師だったんじゃん。
私は生活指導だ。ゆえに生物の先生に丸投げされたんだ。
As long as she doesn't get physical, then I think we're okay with that, right? Because she's been very forceful in the way that, like, and very thoughtful of the way that she pushes them to do certain things. As, like, both the teacher and the guidance counselor, you have a very, like, tight rope to go ahead and, like, manage. Parents are almost always not written as important characters, and they should be. They play such a big, pivotal role in our lives. But, like, could you imagine if, like, I'm your teacher, right? You come over and I'm like, hey, I'm looking at your grades here. I'm gonna have to call your parents for this F. You would probably be like, dude, like, are you really my teacher? Like, oh, you know, or if you're like, hey, get over here, get over here, you know. I wish for more mommies in the show, really. But no, like, specifically what I'm talking about is like, how do you guide people to do the best them that they can do while still maintaining your role as a teacher? There's a very thin line, or there's actually kind of an ethical line between being a guidance counselor and being a counselor in general, therapist, whatever you want to go to call it, and then having a role as something else, an administrator, a teacher, whatever that is. So interesting, and I kind of want to see how she navigates that. She's also so fucking hot. Oh my god. Oh my god. I would fucking yahalo her any day, brothers. Oh.
で、これのどこが野生動物の生態だ？
野生動物の群れ社会に対する強烈なアンチテーゼです。
へりくつはやめろ。まるで君は群れることを罪悪のように言うがな。
先生だって個体っていうか独身で群れ。
Well, it's a good thing I had a nut in my mouth. Nuts, M&Ms. But no.
時にこの前の依頼者はうまくいったのか？
ああ、まあ本人は納得したみたい。
That was funny though.
そういえば先生が言ってた勝負ってどうなってる？
Do that to me.
あれか。勝敗の裁定は私が独断と偏見で下すから安心しろ。ここんとこにしまってある。
Hey, yo.
ところで君から見て、雪の下雪乃はどう映る？
嫌なやつ。
そうか。非常に優秀な生徒ではあるんだが、まあ持つものは持つもので、それなりの苦悩があるのだよ。
Yeah, and oftentimes the gifted people are the the loneliest. This is actually touching on a very real element here, and I think it's worth bringing up. If you guys were ever really good at a subject or whatnot, how hard was it for you to like relate with others or be there with others? Or maybe you were into really a niche, D&D, Gundam, Gunplas in general. How hard was it for you to relate to others when was it a lonely experience? But still, the question goes out there, like, I couldn't relate to classmates ever. And why was that? Like, what did you feel was not the level of connection that you needed? And comes in my next question. Is it easier to relate with other people who can't relate to people? Because there's at least a commonality? Or is it harder? Gifted child to direction in this adult pipeline is real. It is. It is, because oftentimes people are like, oh yeah, this child doesn't need any help growing up. They can do it by themselves. And they forget, hey, they're still fucking children. They need help, you know? I'll be honest, I was really smart, right? I got the opportunity to go ahead and skip grades and shit when I was younger because of my level of intellect. And oftentimes it was hard to get along with people in my own grade, like age group, right? So for you guys, it's never been concerned about relating to others while growing up. I was very involved in your own mind. Sure, but sometimes it's an escapism aspect, right? Where it's like, it's harder to talk to other people and it's harder to address other people. So where do we run into? Or where do we go into? Where do we run? Our own mind. Because at least we can keep ourselves entertained, which often is what makes us weird or unique, or people being like, oh, that's a little interesting, right?
本当はとても優しい子だ。優しくて往々にして正しい。ただ世の中が優しくなくて正しくないからな。さぞ生きづらい。
So yeah.
君たちはひねくれているから、うまく社会に適応できそうもないところが心配だよ。
Aww.
だから一箇所に集めておきたくなる。
あそこはサナトリウムか。
そうかもな。けれど君たちは見ていて面白い。だから手元に置いておきたいだけなのかもしれんな。
Bro, why isn't this teacher fucking wifed up immediately? Like, bro, why isn't this sensei fucking wearing a ring right now? Like, what are the flaws here? I'm trying to find a fucking red flag here, you know? Because I'm not in this anime. Let me in, brother. Let me in. All the guy teachers are gay and all the girl teachers are straight. Also, why is she still single, right? And the 2D barrier is strong because she's waiting for you. Oh no. But also, the question that I'm throwing out there, and this is really interesting that she's doing this, putting people together of roughly the same age group and whatnot. Why? Why is she doing this to them? In group counseling, it's a way to heal. In group counseling, you often have individuals of the same age group come together and share their experiences and talk about things or go through similar experiences to heal. However, that can also build the biggest fucking P out there, just fucking raining P. You guys know what word I'm talking about. Propinquity. Because they're sharing experiences, interacting so much so often, they might hate each other at first. They might genuinely not necessarily love each other. But that'll build so much fucking propinquity. It's like you're fucking simmering, right? You just put a pot on the oven, you turned it on, and you just put eggs in it. At first, they might not, like, the eggs might not, like, you know, you might not see the eggs cooking. But because propinquity is a fire, it's cooking it up without you fully realizing it, the eggs are getting cooked. You just gotta keep shaking that pan and the new events and the new fucking things, you know, like, the fucking steam's going and propinquity's making these eggs. Be like, oh shit, we're getting closer. So propinquity is one of the big aspects in it that I'm even starting to wonder. I wonder if this show's ever going to touch on it, or if it's just going to be like, we're friends. If they stay in this group or in this club for so long, like, or for a long time, is there going to be some sort of romantic feelings that start to evolve from it? Or is it just going to be like, no, you know what? We're just friends. We're just friends. We just got to be friends.
普段なら孤独なランチにぴったりのベストプレイスがあるのだが。
Looks at show title. Fuck you. That was so good.
部活あるし。別に1日ぐらいよくない？今日ね、41のアイスダブルが安いんだよね。アイスチョコとショコラが食べたい。
どっちもチョコじゃん。本当だ。
全然違うし。てか超お腹減ったし。
悪いけど今日はパスな。
Social stuttering. How many of you guys have that? How many of you guys are often maybe like, oh shit, they're still talking and you don't know when's your entrance to be able to come in? Or you're afraid of coming in because then, like, what if you ruin, like, you step on a line or something, and then, you know, people are chatting and you're like, oh shit, is it my opportunity to go in? Not yet. Do I say something? Maybe not yet, because maybe they might look at me if I say something or if I step in a group of friends. I know a lot of people, I know a lot of teenagers, a lot of adults still are afraid of that, are afraid of the confrontational aspects, or maybe even accidentally over stuttering or sharing. Or so an aspect that comes through this, and I guess I'm going to ask this, right, is, do you think this is that Yui right, has some form of anxiety. We're going to go further in depth. I just want to slightly like touch into an aspect like this. Looking at the way that like she is like maybe even thinking about like opening up or going in or interrupting, looking at the different elements that are presented here, I'm like, people pleasing. Why do you think we people please, right? An anxious extrovert, 100%. Anxious extroverts exist, ambiverts exist, which means that you might have an extroverted side, but at the same time, you just want to fucking stay home and like play video games all day. But you can be extroverted if need be, or you might be introverted, but at the same time, like, hey, you can go out and chill with friends, you know, vice versa. You can be an ambivert. Social proof and validation. Big aspect. Polly believes that the accident was entirely her fault and causes an extra layer of trauma. Naturally introvert, but will turn extrovert as a self-defense. Absolutely, Cookie Joe. Those are big elements in that, right? Which is our mix. Our like we as individuals are not just fucking stable individuals. We go through ups and downs in our lives, and sometimes we become really, really extroverted, and sometimes we might be a little bit more introverted. But even through that, you can feel the anxiety just from this picture alone. Can you? I'm going to bring it up for just a quick second. I'm going to take it back down. I promise. What do you guys notice about that? There's something I notice about this that I feel a lot of people might. Is she a part of this group? Like, actually a part of this group? I'm going to tell you what. Probably not. Look at that distance. Everyone in this shot is purposeful and close to the edge. In fact, there's such a wide distance that you can fit a Hachiman in the middle. But she wants to be. Is there a cure for anxiety? It takes a lot of, there's a lot of ways to ground anxiety, right? So that you're able to live with the anxiety in your life, but not really like an insta-cure or anything like that. There's some good rule of thirds here. Yeah.
それにユミコ、あんまり食いすぎると後悔するぞ。
欲しいくらい食べても太んないし。いやほんとユミコマジ神スタイルだよね。足とか超綺麗。で私ちょっとそうかな。でも雪の下さんとかいう子のがやばくない？ああ確かにユキナンはやばい。ユキナン？あでもユミコの方が華やかというか。
まあいいんじゃない？部活の後でなら俺も付き合うよ。
オッケー隼人。じゃあメールして。
おいよ。
Look at that. She wasn't mad at me. We're all good. I'm not kicked out of the group. We're fine. Oh. How many of you guys are people pleasers? Now, this is just the opposite of Hachiman. Hachiman wants to be a lone bear while she wants to be a social butterfly. How many of you guys know that stems from anxiety? How many of you guys genuinely have known that people pleasing stems from anxiety? It stems from not wanting to be a failure, from not wanting to disappoint, not wanting to be a burden. And that's another one right there. Me, when it comes to my aunties and uncles, people pleasing in a big way. And everyone does it in some aspect. I'm not going to fucking be here and be like, yeah. I'm not going to be here and be like, oh yeah, no, everyone's doing it because they love it. For example, why do we people please? Are we being our true, authentic selves if we're people pleasing? Group shaming is scary. The anxiety of being shamed, right? Because shame is a big fucking factor of motivation. Mechanism to avoid abuse, absolutely chaos. Avoid conflict, yes. Because we need help of a group. Because part of it, yeah. Part of it is we think like, oh, if we please others, they'll please us. Or they'll like us. They'll find some good in us. We'll feel validated. I might be able to go out and feel like my presence is enjoyed for them. It will avoid fucking conflict for the next 5 minutes if I do this. But what about yourself? What do you truly want to do? I think I never did. I'm neutral again. It's just really, really interesting to throw that out there and frame it that way. Because for me, it's putting Yui into a more interesting frame of view. Where is she? What is Yui's attachment style? And that's what comes to mind. She's anxious, 100%. Has a sensitive nervous system, is very sensitive around others, struggles to communicate her needs directly, right? Wow, people pleasing is a big form of this, right? Tends to act out when triggered. I haven't seen this yet, but I can imagine it. Like, say that she were to try and, say that she's dating Hachiman, right? Or she's on the verge of fucking dating Hachiman in whatever shape or form, right? And she's like, well, she might make the fucking first move or give an ultimatum or try and act out because she wants to be the one there because she wants to secure her place because she's anxious, because I'm an anxious individual. Oh, if this doesn't happen, what's going to come through with it? Anxiety can present itself in many, many forms. And it takes a lot to be aware of that.
おいすげえ大変そうじゃん。封建社会かよ。あんな風に気を使わなきゃリアル充実しないなら俺ずっとぼっちでいいよ。
私お昼ちょっと行くとこあるから。おお、そうなん？じゃあさ、あれ買ってきてよ、レモンティー。今日飲み物持ってくんの忘れてさ。けど私戻ってくるの語源になるっていうか、お昼まるまるいないから、それはちょっとどうだろうみたいな。ほ？何それ。ゆい最近ちょっと付き合い悪くない？それはなんというか、やまにやまれぬというか、私事で恐縮ですというか。それじゃわかんないからちゃんと言ってよ。あしら友達じゃん。ごめん。
Hate this. The manipulation. The aspects through this. I'm going to say this. Stays between us. I call individuals like this just essentially glass sculptures because their personality can easily be fucking broken if you truly wanted to, right? We're friends, right? Right? You're gonna do this for me because we're friends, right? How many of you guys have been gaslit like this before? Or have been pushed into an environment like this before where people have tried to use your relationship as a power over situation? If people backed away from her right now, if she didn't have any friends, this person that is acting this way would probably be the most anxious motherfucker out there. She would probably be trying to make as many friends as possible because she doesn't want to be alone either. I can see this person breaking instantly and probably comparing herself constantly. And that's where that anxiety of, am I good enough, comes from. I can look at her and see the way that she pushes out and laughs out, or the way that she's acting stems from an anxiety like that. Like, am I good enough? I have to be the best. Am I the best? Am I the best? There might be some sort of judgment or like whatnot towards others because if she's not the best, then who is she really? Is she worthy of being loved? Is she valued? But still, her doing this to others, not fucking cool. Not fucking cool. I think it checks the wheel of power and control. Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the wheel of power and control. What is she doing? Making her afraid by using looks, actions, gestures. Putting her down. Making her feel bad about herself. Calling her names. Making her think she's crazy. Humiliating her. By the way, you only need one to understand that there is or that there may be some form of abuse happening. Using isolation. Controlling what she does, who she sees, what she reads, what she picks up, what she buys. Hey, yo, can you go buy me tea at 5? I need this by 5th period. I need you to go out of class and go buy me. Is she using isolational tactics? Minimizing, denying, or blaming, or whatnot. Well, using children, they're technically kids. Coercion or threats, making or carrying threats to do something to them, hurting or dropping charges or whatever. Even one, we've already identified a couple. Using privilege. Doesn't have to be male privilege, can just be privilege in general. There are many aspects of power and control that are being used here. And is this relationship abusive? Probably not. And that's the thing I wanted to also touch on is oftentimes a lot of like minor triggers or minor cycles aren't consciously done. A lot of times people do this unconsciously because that's the way that they were taught to be. And that fucking sucks. Either culturally, societally, parentally, whatever you want to go ahead and say it. People often like do stuff like this. You might be like, dude, that's a really toxic trait to have. And they're like, well, I've never known any better. So that's where you got to be careful. And that's where you got to identify it. Is this a learned trait, right? Is she doing this consciously or she's doing this unconsciously? Anyway, let's go ahead and continue, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck her, bro. And he doesn't even do anything? Oh, never mind. He's gonna step in, isn't it?
知ってる女の子が目の前で泣きそうになってると胃がキュルキュルして飯がまずくなんだよ。それにそうやって攻撃されるポジションは俺のものであって他の誰かにやすやすと譲ってやるわけにはいかない。おい、その辺で。うっさ。
And he sits down.
その辺で飲み物でも買ってこようかな。でもやめとこう。
あんさ。
So again, does he want to connect with people or not? Does he want to be a lone wolf or not? Or a lone bear? He wants to connect. My boy is like, I'm glad that he's not like, I'm an empath. I fucking hate when people go, oh. But like, he's genuinely more of a sense of justice. It's still empathy, Mickey, because at that point in time, it's seeing others like, oh, it just makes my stomach twirl. That means that you're feeling an emotional response out of seeing someone be hurt or be bullied or whatnot and still standing up in that regard. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be okay with the consequences of standing up or saying something, but there's still a little sprinkle of empathy there, you know? Boy's a walking contradiction. Yes.
またそれ？さっきから謝ってばっかだけど。謝る相手が違うわよ、由比ヶ浜さん。
Hey, yo!
由比ヶ浜さん、あなた、自分から誘っておきながら来ないのは、人としてどうかと思うのだけれど。送るのなら、連絡の一本くらい入れるのが筋ではないの？
ごめんね。でも私、ユキノの携帯知らないし。
You came. Relationship time. I know the framing on this. Who has the most fucking power, bro? Who has the most fucking power? She came and she literally just fucking flipped the power dynamic, bro. She flipped the power dynamic in one fucking frame. She stepped in and the whole room went, whoa, wait a fucking minute. She started acting more real with her. She stepped in. Oh shit. But it's also kind of putting fuel on the fire. She is her. So I'm assuming that we're about to see a little showdown and maybe dejection from this. This is good. This is some good shit.
そう。なら一概にあなたが悪いとも言えないわね。今回は不問にするわ。ちょっと、あしらまだ話終わってないんだけど。話す。あなた、あれが会話のつもりだったの。一方的に意見を押し付けているようにしか見えなかった。
She doesn't fucking need to cook. She doesn't need to cook anymore. Oh, fucking shit, bro. Oh, I didn't expect this level of fucking cooking, brother. Holy shit. Chair. Use the chair. Throw the chair. Holy shit, dude.
気づかなくてごめんなさいね。あなたたちの生態系に。I'm not familiar with how your kind behave in the wild. Oh, I fucking love her. Oh my god. You way to just fucking trigger bait someone, dude. She's already dead. Bing, bing, bing. This is fucking done, bro. That's amazing. Holy shit. I'm not familiar with how your kind believe. My god, I did not expect her to be this fucking amazing. And there were too stunned to speak. Bro, she's still holding on to her sandwich like, what the fuck am I hearing? Okay, you're a fucking you're a shark in a pond. Congratulations. And she's a fucking Cthulhu in the whole fucking school. Like, what a beautiful dissection of even the power dynamics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people, and all of them are too stunned to speak. Evil Yukinon. When you go into the attack, got a dice 26. Fucking. I think she hates being mean. This one little action triggered something for me. I think that in a way, she's doing this as a defense, but she hates being mean or being seen as unapproachable. But yet she has to be to save maybe the friendship that she might have. Even just a hair flip, the nervous reaction, the arm coming across, guarding. This is a guard. This is what people do. Whenever you're nervous, you'll see people often putting body parts or even... I hate when therapists do this. By the way, in case you guys ever see a therapist, like if they have notes or whatever, yeah, they can put them on the side or whatnot. But if you ever see a therapist with their pad here, they're like doing this. How does that make you feel, chat? Wow. Can't believe you went through that. This becomes a barrier. This becomes more, it's like you're talking to the paper. Yeah. Or you'll often see fucking, like, people or, you know, trying to be professionals rather than, like, actually being, like, you know, like what they say they are. You'll see people fucking dress up to the nines, even on here, even on fucking, it's not to call them out or anything like that. Fucking YouTube, like, full dressed up, suit all the way up to the top. And they're like, welcome to whatever. And they're coming off from their suit or from what they wear rather than what they truly know, what they truly are. And oftentimes people do that because it's easier for them to mask than to show some aspect of vulnerability. For her to be like this, it might be a nervous reaction, but it's also a necessary evil, as you guys are talking about, and that's why I'm trying to bring it back up. When I try to talk up to this, so they stay stunned in a silence. They just switch the topic to vulnerabilities until I lose my composure. This sort of call out only works in anime, not necessarily. So what you do is you ground it, right? One of the key elements that comes through with this is, for example, what I tend to do is like, hey, you're in a session with me. Say that you're fucking Hachiman. You just closed yourself off. Or I'm asking you a question. You're giving me yes or no answers. I'm going to be straight up about it. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to be real with you for a second. Sure, just get close. I'm going to be real with you for a second. I'm noticing a wall here. I'm noticing that, like, you know, you seem a little fidgety, maybe a little closed off. Why is that? What can we do to break down this wall together? So the reason why I frame it that way, the reason why I frame it as like, what can we do? Because at the end of the day, I can try every fucking tactic in the book. I can be like, you know what? I'm going to try psychodynamic theory. I'm going to try narrative theory. I'm going to try the gushing, squirting magical girls theory. There's no gushing, squirting magical girls theory. But I can try every fucking 1001 theories thrown at you. Don't mean jack shit if you don't want to be a part of the treatment plan. If you don't necessarily want to be a part of the theory with it, of the treatment plan with it. If you don't want to participate and lower your guard down and acknowledge that, hey, you know what? Yeah, it might be a little rude. It might be whatever. There's going to be no opportunity for us to take an advancement. We might just stall for a session. So it's best to call shit out when you can, but also acknowledge like, hey, I feel, keyword I feel, because they're my feelings, you know, that this is there. Can I get one dose of that mesmerizing? I had to get to the point of trusting my therapist before I could really work with her. And that's another really big point is like, how do you build rapport with your therapist and with others? The element here being, this is a lot to take in. My girl is stepping up to the plate. Get a friend like her if you ever can in your life. Get a friend who will stick up for you no matter what.
何言ってんの？
は？
わかんないし。
まあまあまあ雪下さんそれぐらいで由美子もさ雪下さんそれぐらいで
何言ってんの？意味わかんないし。
まあまあまあ雪下さんそれぐらいで
The way he approached, he got right in the middle, tried to be the mediator, but also the way that he approached makes me wonder, is there history? Specifically, is there a history of either romantic feelings or something more advances or something in that regard? Because look at the way she quickly turns and they just fucking drop the situation right there and then. Maybe a denied romantic situation or maybe a situation like that, right? How you only came after that, not during Yui scenes. It's interesting that like, yeah. Childhood could be a childhood friend or something in that regard. Regardless, there's still that tension there. Why did she turn away? Unless there was some sort of like awkward situation, awkward relationship at hand. Interesting.
由美子もさ
先に行くわね。私もすぐ行く。
No.
いや喉乾いたわジュース買いに行こう俺も
Everyone's so fucking awkward walking to Bro, you would fucking find me in the fucking background, like in fucking school being like, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The fucking wizard. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Prophet Brenner's ecological fucking doing some random ass like study. just so fucking over the top or some shit like propinquity, right? Oh, and the shipper wizard.
俺も乗るしかないこのビッグウェーブにというかこれ以上深刻な空気になったら呼吸できない死ぬ
ヒッキーありがとう
Oh,
立ち上がってくれて
protector. I gotta ask, Yui or Yukino, who do you prefer? Who would you prefer, ladies and gentlemen? And no, only Yui or Yukino, brother. Sensei would fucking obliterate. Sensei would obliterate, and I think we all know that. Holy shit. Yukino taking 69% of the vote. Nice. Y'all are quick. Anyway.
ごめんね私さ人に合わせないと不安っていうかつい空気読んじゃうっていうか
There has to be a confrontation moment, though. Like, if we want our girl to start succeeding and start taking that next step, as awkward as it is, sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and draw a clear boundary line. Be like, hey, you know what? In order for me to continue going forward, I need to, like, I've been doing what everyone wants me to do because it's what everyone expects me to do. But I need to go ahead and take this next step, if not for you, then for myself, at least to be healthier. And even if people don't like it, they're like, whatever, I don't care. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. You weren't important or whatever. Being able to walk away from a situation like that is so powerful. It is so fucking powerful in that regard.
いやもう昔からそうなんだよねおままごとで
Think about it. The whole group of friends is over here and they're just all ignoring her.
本当はママ役やりたいんだけど他にやりたい子がいるからってポチ役やってたり団地育ちのせいかもだけど何が言いたいのか全然わかんないんだけどだよね私もよくわかんないんだけどでもヒッキーとかユキの見てて思ったんだ本音言い合ってお互い空気読んで無理に合わせてないのに楽しそうで
I need a whole fucking storyline on her, brother. Oh my fucking god, the depth of her in general. She, I'm gonna fucking ring a bell right now, ladies and gentlemen. She can be one of the biggest agents of change ever. And what she just stated right now, the way that she's processing things and even looking at the depth of relationships and superficiality versus like deep connections and how to be yourself and all of these things. She can be a fucking vessel for a powerful aspects of change. Holy shit. Also, right now it's 54 to 46%. And it's called connections. Oh, well, look at that, Promethean. Oh.
なんか私今まで必死になって人に合わせてたの間違ってるかなって
Yeah.
だってヒッキーとかマジヒッキーじゃん
ヒッキーセキ
休み時間とか寝たふりしてたり本読んで笑ってたりキモいし
本当に気持ち悪いからやめた方がいいわよ。
気づいてんならその場で言えよ
いやよ、気持ち悪い時に話しかけたくないもの。
I love her, man.
そういうわけで別にユミコのことが嫌だってわけじゃないから
But we can't release.
だからこれからも仲良くできるかな
そう。まあいいんじゃない。
ごめんありがとう
It's kind of like breaking up, but not really. I can fix her. Like, hey, you know what? We had a great run. We had a great run. We had a great run. We did a lot of fantastic things, you know? We laughed a lot. It's baby steps. But she at least was able to put up a boundary, ladies and gentlemen. And for that, I can applaud that with all of my heart. Let's give her some Doritos, ladies and gentlemen. she was able to at least set up boundaries as to what she acknowledged, what she learned from the situation, what she acknowledged, and what she wants to do wants to keep doing forward. She doesn't want to be a yes man, and acknowledging that is powerful and huge. And I love that. I love that for a character that she's so mature. She's much. Trust me, I've seen fucking adults in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s not being able to acknowledge some of their own flaws. So seeing someone being able to step up and say something like that, powerful stuff. Powerful, powerful stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
なんだちゃんと言えるじゃない
What are your thoughts on the Blondie? Just an a-hole? Is there something else? I think there's more to her. There's definitely more to her. There's probably a lot of insecurities and maybe aspects of neediness, probably developed from an anxious trauma or an anxious attachment. A lot of people like jump into the conclusion of like, oh, well, this person's a bitch or this person's evil or not good or whatever. When oftentimes we're either having a really bad day or we have a lot of in our past that make us act that way as a defense mechanism. You know, and they might be a good person where like if you're struggling, they might help you out. But just like almost every day, like for example, if I were to point this out, how many of you guys, like if people met you like randomly, they'd be like, oh, you know what? He's always such a happy dude. Or would they be like, you know what? Like he seemed like okay. He seemed kind of down. Because a majority of us, we kind of carry some of our past with us and we're constantly thinking about things, you know? Anyway.
何をでしょう
盗み聞きだキモいあとキモいいやもうほんとマジキモすぎだから
少しは遠慮しろよ
は今さら遠慮するわけないでしょ誰のせいだと思ってんのバカ
She's too cute. I can't, brother. I love her. I'm like, I love her. I ain't even gonna put on this pred hat here. Ooh. She's that warm fuzzy feeling that you probably had when you were like, oh my god, she's adorable, baby girl, right?
誰のせいってそりゃ雪の下だよな
She melts my heart, yeah. Bruh, both of them together. Looking in, is there something worrisome in there or someone worrisome in there for you guys, both of you, to be behind the fucking door looking in?
何してんの
いきなり声をかけないでもらえるかしら
悪かったよで何してんの
部室に不審人物がいるの
はあ
まさかこんなところで出会うと
They found the fucking Judy. Oh, just to think that we should be here immediately. Is it Shadow Sama? I'm like, is it? Just seeing how dramatic it was, bro. I was like, no, the papers are flying. The moon is red.
待ちわびたぞ引きヶ谷8番
Oh? Oh shit.
あなたの知り合いなの
こんな奴は知ってても知らない
まさかこの相棒の顔を忘れたとはな
Oh
見
no.
下げ果てたぞ
Oh
8
no.
番
相棒って言ってるけど
そうだ相棒貴様も覚えているだろうあの地獄のような時間を共に駆け抜けた日々を
体育でペア組まされたかもな
He reminds me a lot of Brady. And just how poetic he is with his words. As long as he's not a fucking like novel writer or some shit, I think we'll be fine. Hey, bull. I'm bull. We charged into the fucking realms together, brother. That's crazy. Tea time.
あのような悪しき風習好きなやつと組めだと
Oh, that's so good.
我はいつ外れともわからぬにこのマスクを
In case you guys don't know, I have one of my best friends. His name is Brady. He's a psychologist as well, or he's a therapist. My bad. And he is also a fucking writer. But like sometimes his poetic words can really be like, you know, like he could talk to you poetic nonsense, and you're just like, Yeah. And then you're like, did you just get that from your book? Oh boy.
ものなど作らねえ
He's amazing though.
何の用だ材木座
Mario, thanks so
一気の
much.
知り合いじゃん
誰？
我は剣豪将軍材木材をしてるだ
そのお友達。あな
All the papers down here, bro, you didn't have to be that dramatic about it. So I have a question for you guys. And I know that we just saw it from the sword, but there's also a very relevant question that I'm throwing out there for you guys. Where is the range of okayness for people to say something like hi? And yes, I am throwing that out there, right? The service club seems to be like a weird idea for a club, especially for Japan. There must be a personal reason for her to do that. Well, think about it this way. What is a service club? What are you doing in the service club? Servicing, helping others, volunteer. It's a service to the community. Sure. But in a situation like this, where we have a bunch of misfits in a situation like this, where we're going to be real about it, they're helping others. Why? Making connections. In the process of helping others, they're helping themselves. Unknowingly, maybe unconsciously, they're using the connections that they build with others to help themselves. Where does this stem from? There's a difference between doing it because there's no issues and then doing it out of the ability to gain something even unconsciously. The sensei was a fucking genius because in a way, it's like, yeah, you guys are helping others. You guys will be able to go ahead and people please and help out others and yeah, hello everyone and whatnot. But at the same time, they're helping themselves in the process by being able to deal with the underlying anxiety that is like, I need to help others. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. No one will love me. I will never make friends, whatnot, because they're helping out others in that way. So now sensei can do something like this. Welcome to CBT, and it's not cockball torture. So it'd be like Hachiman, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely fucking horrible, and 10 being like, oh yeah, like the most amazing thing ever. How much do you really want to connect with others, right? Or like, how much does that mean for you? Like actual genuine connections with others. Hachiman might be like, you know what? I see myself as a 3. So, Hachiman, you say that you don't really see yourself making connections with others. Tell me about the loneliest people that you know. Hachiman starts listing off like, oh, I know this anime character A, and fucking, you know, but then there's also Sid or Rentaro over here with number 10, because he's able to connect with all of his 100 girlfriends. And then you have fucking Sid over here with his you know, beautiful at a 9. And he could just keep listing a bunch of like people or anime characters or whatever. So all of a sudden, me as the sensei, I'd be like, you know, and he could keep listing people here. Like, say, let's name a really lonely person. Let's put Denji over here, Araragi at the start. Sure. Let's say that there's all of these characters, right, over here. It'd be like, you know, Hachiman, we're just using this as an example. You put yourself at a 3, but yet we have Araragi at the beginning, Watamoto Denshi below you, and the loneliest person ever over here at 1. And we have Subaru, Rudius, and whatnot at 5, 6, and 7. Or are you truly at a 3? Now, reevaluating the fact that you have Yukino and Yui beside you, and you're helping out so many people that say that they're attached to you, are you truly at a 3? Or are you somewhere else on the line? Once you establish the facts, and once you're able to point it out to them, what happens? People usually move. They're like, hey, actually, I'm not as lonely as these people. And maybe it doesn't increase that much, but their belief went from here to here. And it's like, okay, now that you're at a 5.5, Hachiman, what would it take you to go from 5.5 to a 6? What would that look like for you? And you start asking these questions. And now the ability for him to start taking those steps starts looking a little bit more feasible if he's vulnerable and if he's open to doing it. This is called the continuum in CBT. And this is an aspect that a good therapist and a good psychologist should be able to do with you as a client, to be able to, like, for you to understand, like, maybe my cognitive distortions are putting me at a 3, but genuinely, it's not that bad. I'm like at a 5.5, and maybe I can get better. I'm not as bad as I thought I was. But a lot of it is our own perception, right? Because that's how we heal our narrative. And that's one of the biggest aspects through that chaos. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that illustrates why I'd want to go ahead and take this approach with Hachiman and even talk a little bit more about it and even go further in depth. Because for me, it's like Hachiman's ability to connect with others is the prime key. And emphasizing this connection is the world.
あなたに用があるんじゃないの？
友達じゃねえっつの
さよう我に友などおらぬマジで一人
I'm a loner.
時に八幡報支部とはここでいいのだなお
ここが報支部よ。
やはりそうか。助言いただいた通りならば8万。お主は我の願いを叶える義務がある。
Obligated to fulfill my. Okay,
幾百の時を超えてなお始終のか。
We're not gonna get you a body pillow, brother. He has a body pillow that just stands up. It's so crusty. I love it, dude. I love these fucking characters like this that are just so like amazing.
これも8万大菩薩の導きか。
別に奉仕部はあなたのお願いを叶えるわけではないの。ただお手伝いをするだけよ。
8万よ。では我に手を貸せ。
Assist you with what, bro?
思えば我とお主は対等な関係。かつてのように天下を再び握らんとしようではないか。
主従の関係はどこに行ったんだよ。
ゴラム。我とお主の間でそのようなさまつなことはどうでもよい。特別に許し。
Yeah. If you've ever gotten really into an argument or really into a discussion, seeing the looks of other people not following up with you on your conversation or kind of looking at you like, bruh, like it can suck, bro. It can hurt. When you have that one friend that you can geek out with and talk about anything with, you can make the world around you disappear. You can center in. And for all my neural spicy friends out there, all my acoustic friends out there, and even normal individuals out there, how many of you, most of you will have noticed this. You're at a club, you're at a bar, you're at whatnot. The music is playing, right? Right? Fucking going loud. Like you just, you're with your friends though, or you might be somewhere and people are talking really fucking loudly. Your friend says something in this voice. You might not pick up everything they said, but I sure as heck know that you picked up more than, like, your ears are more trained to pick up on their voices and understand them more, maybe even center in on the conversation if it gets really good and really spicy and just fucking there, as compared to the huge noise that may be happening around you. Because our brain is able to filter out information so beautifully that we're able to keep that connection there.
なんでこっち見んだっつうの。
引ヶ谷君、ちょっと。何なの？あの剣豪将軍って。
あれは中二病だ。
Eighth grade syndrome? It's called Sid syndrome. Oh.
中二病ってのはな。というわけで病気じゃない。
意味わかんない。
つまり自分で作った設定に基づいてお芝居をしているようなものなのね。
大体合ってる。
Yeah, although if they're not able to outgrow it, it can turn into delusions or delusions of grandeur, depending on how they see themselves or what aspects they see of themselves in that regard. So you got to be a little careful with that. And I guess people should seek out counseling regardless of it if they don't know the difference between fantasy and reality specifically.
で、あいつはたまたま名前が一緒ってだけで室町幕府の13代将軍足利義輝を下敷きに設定してるみたいだ。
あなたを仲間とみなしているのはなぜ？
俺の名前から清和源氏が武神として熱く信奉してた。
As a god of war.
菩薩を引っ張ってんだろ。
驚いた。詳しいのね。
まあな。あいつの場合は過去の歴史をベースにしている分まだマシだな。
あれよりひどいのがいるの？
いる。
参考。
This power, it's overwhelming. I can't see it, the Patriots. The La-Li-Lu-Lay-Lo. They've taken it out. Okay, YouTube, I'm gonna give you guys this homework. I want you guys to give me your chuniest line possible. You know, let your chuny out to the public. You know, let it gush out a little bit. Oh, I'm so curious.
けど、どんなものなの？
もともとこの世界の7人の神、創造神たる山中の神、検定ガラン、戦女神メシカ、心森ハーティア、そして、ってお前誘導陣もうめえな、本当だ。
Yeah.
うっかりつまびらかに喋るところだったわ。
何一つ誘導してないのだけれど。
気持ち悪い。
まあなんだ、昔はそうだったかもしれないけど、今は違う。俺はもうバカな妄想はしない。
So you...
コスプレなんかも卒業した。深海日記や政府報告書も綴っていない。ただ、絶対に許さないリストだけは未だに。
What the fuck? You need some help, Hachiman. Let's just bring it in a second, Hachiman. You need some help, bro. We need to get you some fucking help immediately. Go to therapy, son. Look at what he's writing. I'm going to kill her. He's trying to talk to me to make himself stand out. What if Masahiro right here is just trying to fucking connect with you for a second? Did some brand practice in front of my lunch spot. Talks annoyingly loud with girls. Maybe he's anxious. Will kill. Yori didn't respond when I tried talking to him. Pretended not to hear even though he heard me. He needs therapy. There's a difference between thinking about it and writing shit down. But also, this is where connections are important. Because otherwise, thoughts like this run wild. And if this was America, I would have been fucking terrified of Hachiman. I ain't even gonna fucking lie, brothers. But no, like straight up, like people need help. And oftentimes, this help gets thwarted or gets pushed away. And it can suck, you know? It can really, really fucking suck. Because you're there thinking that you're connecting with people. And, you know, you see some people really struggling to connect. And you try and outreach. And it might already be too late for some people. It's just shames them to death. Oh. Mesmerizing.
大体分かったわ。あなたの依頼はその心の病を
To cure you of your mental illness.
我は汝との契約のもと我の願いを叶えがためにこの場に馳せ参じた。それは実に
話しているのは私なのだけど、人が話しているときはその人の方を向きなさい。
Oh, yes, ma'am. But also, again, the arms crossed over. Seeing this as a soothing technique to be able to go out and confront people or talk to people. Could be a nervous tick, could be something like that. But still, having your arm, like, there's a difference between having your arms on your side and having your arms up front. That's interesting. Also, scared to talk to girls. Yeah, more than likely. Maybe this is one of the key reasons why she's not engaging with them. Because that anxiety can definitely be there, Mickey. 110%.
これはしたり。
その喋り方もやめて。
Oh. However, Yukinon, there's a difference between grounding someone in reality and then pushing your beliefs as to what is normal on them. There's a difference between being like, hey, that's a little weird. Like, hey, let's talk a little bit versus stop that. That's weird. Look at me. Stop. You're talking to me. There's a difference between that and like, hey, so why don't we just bring it back down to earth for a second? Big difference. Big difference in that, because let's be honest, how many of you guys as kids we're talked that way, we're talked down to that way, right? And as an adult, maybe you're afraid of acting out, maybe you're afraid of being a little childish, maybe you're afraid of like being a little goofy or silly, and that anxiety gets to you when maybe you have to be a little goofy or silly, or maybe something goes out of like your routine and you're like fucking terrified. That's anxiety, bro. That stems out of people trying to talk down to you and input weird regiments as to what is normal when no one really knows what normality is.
すごいユキノン。
とにかくその病気を治すってことでいいのよね。
あ、別に病気じゃないですけど。
そのこれって小説の原稿か？
いかにも。
Oh, fuck. Oh no. I only had water and Gatorade. Stop. My phone. Oh no. Don't drink water, Red. It was too fucking late, brothers. Too late. I did. I put it down. It's down in the sun. You guys should have told me that ahead of time. Ahead of time. And gushing. Brady? I'm kidding. That is so hilarious, though. Like, internally, I'm fucking dying. I did, but the lag. Pause when you drink. Oh, no. I'm putting this away, bro. I'm putting my water bottle all the way.
それはライトノベルの原稿だ。とある新人賞に応募しようと思っているが、友達がいないので感想が聞けぬ。
Yeah, that's a rough one. For you guys, how has that been for you? In terms of like, have you ever felt so lonely that you couldn't reach out to friends? I have. I know. Weird enough. As a psychologist, you felt that way? Yeah, 100%. Completely fucking normal. I've shared this story beforehand. Rona hit. Some of my friends, a lot of my friends, started doing their own things, right? A lot of them started going into YouTube, doing like book reviews and like whatnot, and literally just cutting all connection off with me during COVID. And I'm in a country whose language I'm still learning with little to no money, like little income was coming in because therapy and stuff was drying up because COVID, and people weren't really sure if they wanted to do person or telehealth, and wide restrictions, and shit was starting to hit the fan, right, for a lot of people. And it was lonely, man. It was fucking lonely. It was terrifying because it's like coming up with all these great ideas, and it's not like I could really ping them on people. Half the time it was just 24/7 hours of loneliness. Who do you talk to when everyone else around you talks a different language? And that's sort of why I started making videos to spread mental health awareness. And I know if you look at it, I have ReZero videos and other stuff out there when I first started. You can tell by the quality of the camera and the quality of the sound and everything, right? That it was pretty rough. And my laptop kept fucking breaking down. And it's like the only form that I had to connect with others was the internet at that time. That was rough, to be able to, like, not being able to connect with others, not being able to share stuff with others. Because who do you share stuff with if everything keeps breaking down around you? And it can be such a lonely experience. That's why looking at him and it being a creative project, if I can't get your opinions on your work, even if people don't like it, you have to do it in a way that is a strength-based approach.
読んでくれ。
何か今とても悲しいことをさらりと言われた気がする。
投稿サイトとかあるからそこにさらせばいいんじゃねえの？
それは無理だ。あやつらは容赦がないからな。酷評されたら多分死ぬぞ我。
心弱え。でもな。多分投稿サイトより雪の下の方が容赦ないよ。
この物語の根幹である空間断裂、人呼んでディメンションドライバー。これが最後には世界議会によるアカシックレコードへのアクセスを可能にして。
The Akashic Records.
失礼します。平塚先生に言われてきたんですけど。なんで引き
Oh man, sorry. I'm about to get a fucking nosebleed. Oh my god. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I have a fucking theory. My brain is fucking firing like crazy right now, so apologies if I do get a nosebleed. That's just what happens when my brain starts putting like all the fucking like pieces and shit together. Oh my god, bro. I always had a weird feeling about this and the way that it was introduced. But now that we're seeing this, and I just want to cross back just to reference it. Oh.
8万。
I want to see this one last time here.
投稿サイトより
人呼んでディメンションドライバー。これが最後には世界議会によるアカシックレコードへのアクセスを可能にして。
There are things called emotional triggers or triggering events that are happening at the moment. Triggering events can be anything, right? Triggering event could be, for example, the sound of a slot machine, the sound of your phone ringing, or a fucking ringtone, right? And all of a sudden, boom, it triggers a memory inside of you. Maybe something traumatic happened, maybe something else. Whenever a triggering event happens like that, it's usually grounded in a sentiment of place, person, whatever. Anything, light, sound, whatnot, can trigger a core memory inside of us to activate. Seeing this car and hearing the dog apparently triggered a reaction like this, which brings up a question. And I guess I'll just ask it. Was Hickey hit by a car? Because core memories come from trauma, from a form of trauma. My next question is this, and this is why I went back, because all of a sudden my mind went, wait a minute, this is another odd thing that happened on episode 1 that I didn't call out, that I was like, what the fuck? And now looking so far 16 minutes into episode 2, there's not been an explanation yet. So I'm also like, what the fuck? Hickey, yeah, hello, Hickey. Nobody else really talks to him in this school, but Hickey. She came up with the nickname for him. She approaches him even though he has never really approached her. She made up a nickname for him, even though nobody else has a nickname for him. Is there an air of familiarity? Is there somehow an aspect where Hachiman's perspective, what he gives to the outside world, this is his inner self, but yet she can see the inner self or know who he truly is. Even though other people might see this external, be like, he's such a loner or whatnot. Why can she connect with him in this regard? Why is she able to see past the mask that he wears to others? Why does she have a nickname for him? I don't come up with nicknames with my friends unless I fucking have an endearing moment or I care for them or like there's something for them. I feel like I'm on a train of thought here. Is the power dynamics this? this or this? What is the actual power dynamics? You guys might be like, bro, what the fuck are you on? You don't come up with breaking through the mask that someone has tried to carefully create unless you're very, very fucking observant, like extremely fucking observant, and notice that that's a mask and you're able to break through it, or you know something has happened, an inciting incident, or something is there where you're able to go ahead and associate things differently. That is what I'm pointing out to. There's something in relation with her, or in that regard. Which also brings up my other question. We've seen Yukinon be ice, utter and complete ice that can completely destroy a person. Why does she not destroy him? I feel like I might have overcooked. I'm fucking steering left here, or fucking... She did it when he first came in though. Not to that level though. Only to back off at the right amount. Look at this. Sorry, I know we're going. I apologize, guys. I don't know if you guys are into stuff like this, but I am, and this is like my big thrive is finding little things that stick out in a person's story or narrative. Being like, wait a minute, you referenced this earlier. Like this was a really important thing that you shared with me earlier. Let's revisit this. Talk about it for a second, right? See, even the joking around. My instincts, my internal psychological instincts that I've been trained on tells me that there's something more. I don't know what, I don't know where, I don't know how, but this seems more like an actual stability of like blah blah blah, like talking shit with someone when you first meet them as a way to come through, versus someone's invading my space and I have to deal with it, like, you know, in a kind of friendly terms way, versus At any point in time, she could have denied, she could have said anything, she could have gotten him out. I don't like you. What are you doing? You really think that you could get along by just tearing down people, whatnot? None of that. Just little prime poking. However, sit down. There's more to it, man. There's fucking more to it. In my brain, if I keep thinking ahead, I'm gonna get a fucking nosebleed. I can't. We're gonna put a pin on this and we're gonna come back.
8万よ。
ああ、それつまんね
え。待て、落ち着け8万。いいか？さらに加えてヒロインの持つ神代の鉄槌グンニグルハンマー。こいつ。
I hope you guys enjoyed your dish, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know if I don't even know how fucking if I'm right or just fucking existential here. On another realm altogether, creating a whole different fucking Oregairu experience for people, like theory baiting based on like a random fucking acute stress incident there. Not even reading shit. Is that hers? Is this bike hers? Or did she fucking appear out of thin air and smack him? Adorable. Even especially if they have a little drool on them. Just having a little drool on you when you're passed out, you're like, hey, it's time to get up, time to go. And it's just like, my heart, man.
あなたの顔を見ると一発で眠気が飛ぶわね。
危うく見てくれに騙されて血迷うところだった。永眠させてやりたい、この女。
Bruh.
さて、では感想を聞かせてもらうとするか。
ごめんなさい。私にはこういうのよくわからないんだけれど。
構わぬ。凡族の意見も聞きたいところだったのでな。好きに言ってくれたまへ。
It was kind of mid. You just gotta hit them with the terms, you know? I see that you use the word Pepega in a sentence here. It's kind of mid. It felt like a Final Fantasy VII fucking ripoff mixed in with some other Final Fantasy games, in with like apparently Metal Gear or some shit. Like SAO was better. Ooh.
そうつまらなかった何が普通ですらあったわ想像を絶するつまらなさ
参考までにどの辺がつまらなかったのかご教示願えるか。
I mean,
まず文法がめちゃくちゃね
oh.
なぜいつも統治法なのテニオ派の使い方知ってる小学校で習わなかった
それは平易な文体でより読者に親しい。
それは最低限まともな日本語が書けるようになってからではないのそれにルビだけど語用が多すぎるわ
You're abusing them.
力なんて読めることはないのだけど聞くけどこのブラッディナイトメアスラッシャーのナイトメアはどこから来たの
違うのだ。最近のバトルではルビの振り方に特徴。
ここでヒロインが服を脱いだのはなぜ
She just started fucking flipping through pages and she's already falling asleep. Me in fucking school, just like, all right, I'm done, bro. Fucking work and shit, just trying to fucking take a nap.
必要性がタイムをねしらけるわ
The only reason why I'm saying this, yes, kids, stay awake at school, study. During a class, they were going over Brofenbrenner, bro. Big fucking thick ass book. They're going over Brofenbrenner. How many times have I gone over fucking Brofenbrenner, bro? I know the fucking theory of like back and forth, fucking sideways and shit. And I'm over there like with the big ass book, just like. And everyone's like hearing Brofenbrenner for the first time, like poggest shit ever. And I'm just like, it's Brofenbrenner. Y'all should know this already.
完結していない物語を人に読ませないでくれるかしら文才の前に常識を身につけた方がいいわね
Oh.
その辺でいい
Destroyed.
んじゃないか。あまり一点に言ってもあれだし。
まだ言い足りないけどまあいいわ
But is that constructive, though? You may have said that out of thinking that he needs to hear that, but is that constructive for a writer? Or is that more of like, could a person take that and be like, you know what, I'm just going to stop writing altogether? How would you take it? She did have notes on the paper. That's probably what would have been better. It's like, hey, you know what? It was a little rough. Why don't we go through it, right? Like, it was really rough.
じゃあ次は由比ヶ浜さんかしら
難しい漢字たくさん知ってるね
YOLO, what's up, dude? Welcome on in.
8番お前なら理解できるよな。
で、あれって何のパクリ？
So what story are you copying? Where in the chat GPT did you start this with? Oh, that's so good.
あなた容赦ないわね
ちょっと
It's trash. Where did you steal it from?
ま、大事なのはイラストだから中身なんてあんまり気にすんなよ。
No. No. Zymo is the author's self-insert.
ド M なの
あんだけ言われてまだやるのかよ。
無論だ。確かに酷評はされた。だがそれでも嬉しかったのだ。自分が好きで書いたものを誰かに読んでもらえて感想を言ってもらえるというのはいいものだな。
So what type of things can the service club handle? How far would they go? Like, hey, we have some extremely important budget decisions for the school. Do you mind taking a look at all of this? Or, hey, I want to dress up like a cat maid for the school festival, but I'm really shy. Do you mind giving me the confidence for it? Or, hey, I want to appear manlier. Can you make me a man? Can you make me buff? You know, like, what are the levels that's okay and not okay for the service club? Like, in general. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, yes, we could build propinquity, we can talk about connections and the connective aspects of it, but we also have to talk about the limits, the actual limits that are appropriate for this club in general. Like, where is that line drawn in the sand for them? And what is pushing things a little too far? As long as you walk in the door.
わかった。また読むよ。
Aww.
さらばだ。また新作が書けたら持ってくる。
Can you guys help me defeat a god?
そうだな。こいつは中二病ってだけじゃない。もう立派な作家病にかかっているのだ。書きたいことがあるから書きたい。それが誰かの心を動かせたならなお嬉しい。
But also, Hachi, you just saw that there was an individual that recognized and was able to talk with you, even if you didn't necessarily like the conversation. He held a conversation that was at your level. This man did not talk down to you, did not talk up to you. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It was very much like that. And he kept it there. That might be a friend. Even though you might not like to acknowledge it, if he continues to make a presence and continues to actively be a part of your life in some way, shape, or form, that might turn into a tomodachi. That might be a person that is legitimately there. Even in an aspect, if you're like, he's a little weird, sure, but he was able to go ahead and tolerate him in that regard. Which is amazing, which is interesting that like through all of that, change is happening. This club has already started to affect them. Real.
それこそが作家病。材木座はこれからも変わらなくていいのだ。
そら
あの気持ち悪い部分を除けばな。
いい仕事した。
I done good. Shadow Claw Jutsu. My dude OP here fucking I saved you guys. The evil curse was coming and I had to save all my Twitch chatters. I couldn't do it any other way. Are you guys okay? Oh, this is so good, bro. And they're still working out together. This is good shit. Can you raise martial arts, bros?
八幡よ。流行の神絵師は誰だろうな。
気が早えよ。賞を取ってから考えろよ。
売れたらアニメ化して声優さんと結婚できるかな。
I can marry a voice actress? Oh no.
まず原稿を書け。な。
売れたら夜な夜な豪遊できるかな。
Hey yo, wait a minute.
こういうなんてあるわけないだ。
I'm not sure. My mind is telling me no, but my body, my mind's like, wait a minute. No, that went by so quick. No! There's something interesting about this that I wanted to touch on. Is there one singer or is there two singers? Because it sounds that way, right? Even the way that they're saying, started to boil over feelings and all of this stuff. This is really interesting. And that's why I wanted to stop and come back to this. Because it's two different perspectives as to what's happening. And I'm noticing this and I'm like, ooh. I kept in the feelings that I wanted to express. Is it if this ending song is actually tied to the main story, I'm like, oh no. Oh no, brother. Are both of them gonna gain feelings for Hachiman? Are both of them going to get feelings for Hachiman? This ending is essentially saying like, oh, I have all of these feelings that are tying over. And oh no, because can't that just break their fucking friendship? Like I hate to point it out this way. Couldn't that, like, if one starts to feel feelings and the other one already has feelings and they're feeling like already fucking tangled up, couldn't that just put a lot of fucking pressure on Hachiman? And if my man's already fucking like dismissive or avoidant, he might just try to be like, nope, I'm trying not to connect. I tangled it up. This could be the fucking disastrous. Holy shit, bro. That statement is a contradiction. How is this gonna fucking go? I'd be alone again with you. Count me in. Count me fucking excited, brothers. Count me fucking excited, brothers. Holy shit. Hachiman. Okay, where's this going? Oh, that's it?
引きヶ谷くんさえ良ければテニス部に
Tennis
入ってくれ
club.
ないかな。
全員死ぬまで走らせてから死ぬまで素振り死ぬまで練習かしら。
サイちゃん大丈夫？ねえハヤト、足いい加減テニスしたいんだけど。
圧倒的じゃないか我が軍は。なぎ払え。
やられた。本当に魔球だな。 次回たまにラブコメの神様はいいことをする
Bro, I'm fucking horrible at like if this is like full on just going out there playing fucking tennis and bullshit, like yeah, I ain't even gonna get into that. But I do want to go ahead and talk about this for a second, which is
ひなやくんさえよければテニス部に入ってくれないかな。
全員死ぬまで走らせてから死ぬまで素振り、死ぬまで練習かしら。
サイちゃん大丈夫？
Is this season a build-up? And I know because you're like, there's 3 seasons. Of course, it's going to be a build-up. But is season 2 and season 3 better than season 1? So, yes, YOLO, yes. Because it feels like what's happening right now in a very fucking magical ways. They're introducing a very valuable cast of characters, of course, like any show does. But all of them are so fucking rich in storytelling so far. Like, they all have a lot, like, it's not just like a fucking flat piece of paper, you know? Like, they actually have depth to them. Which is why I'm really curious how that's going to go. You know? Like, is this more, like, are the other seasons more centered on the drama aspect? And this more centered on, like, a bits of comedy and little relief and little, like, sectors to pull you into it? Season 1 is still very, very good. It's great. It's a great fucking episode. I've had a blast with this. You know? This is on training wheels. The show runs for like 10 years. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. But still, the question remains there, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is a really, really nice way of introducing characters if you just want to go and chill and relax. But seeing as though you guys keep saying there's a season, like 3 seasons, I'm like, the other 2 seasons have to have something that really drive it home. So I'm really curious where that's going to go. Overall, I don't know what else to say. Awesome episode. Fucking, it was really, really fun. I don't, like, for me, this episode was another, like, maybe an 8 out of 10. Maybe an 8 out of 10. It felt like it was setting something up. There was some niceness to us, and there was a good element of boundary setting, and, you know, we're starting to see little aspects of it. However, the lore drop for me that you guys were like, what's happening there? Really got me going. And I feel like I'm about to get a fucking nosebleed. I feel as though I'm in the middle of fucking processing that still. And whatever else is to come, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed your time here and you guys enjoyed some of the analysis, the topics, the conversations, so on and so forth, make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. It means the world to me because I'm going to be straight up with you guys on YouTube. It's a little difficult. It's been really, really fucking difficult just because the algorithm doesn't really like extreme long form content the way that like these analyses are. They prefer 10, 15 minute analysis or reactions and thrown up, and they'll fucking promote that to God's know when. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, sure. But like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of a deep dive, they don't really like promoting that shit. So if you guys can go ahead and help out, leave a comment, say yeah, hello, or whatever you guys want to go ahead and leave. It means the world to me. It would mean the world to go ahead and get this out to more people that might need some help and might need some, would actually want to be a part of our conversations and stuff like that. Season 1, appetizer. Season 2, main course. Season 3, dessert. Ooh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please practice some self-care. Know that I fucking love you. And if nobody's told you this today, I'm proud of you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. Hope you guys practice that self-care, YouTube. And I'll see you guys later.